Hey everyone, John Henry here from School of Trade. Today we're going to be taking a look at a long here on crude oil at 42.73. That's where I'm looking to get in. And essentially the reason why I'm liking 42.73 is mainly just because of the fact that I don't believe the sellers right now. Every time that the sellers have tried coming in, it has been a complete and utter failure. We saw the sellers try here, failed. We saw the sellers try here, failed. Saw the sellers try here, failed. Really big sell bar, probably going to fail. I have no anticipation of the buyers losing grip on this. It's way too strong at the moment for them to have that happen. So what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to get in 42.73, which we already are. I'm looking for the upside objective, kind of a little bit variable. Really, first, let's get the stop taken care of. Stop is going to go below the last bear attempt, so that's going to put my stop down here, 42.64. And then from here, essentially, because the upside could be so many different places, you could be looking for a possible channel high, you could be looking for a wedge top, you could be looking for a double top, you could be looking for several different things in terms of targets. The one big thing that I want to make sure I do is that we get our profit target at least above a 1-to-1, and because we are buying the low of a bear candle, we already know that we're buying low. So we can go for a 2-to-1 instead. So I'll move this up for a 2-to-1. Now a 2-to-1 versus our stop puts us at 42.91, and we're going to take two contracts off there. The second objective for this primarily is just going to be where we anticipate the buyers wanting to go on this run. Now, because of the most recent price action, we have the wedge top as the possible area of interest here. So that is going to be where we're looking for potential movement. Now, the reason it's a wedge top is because if we draw from the bottom here, we can see exactly what's happening right now. They're forming a wedge. We haven't yet tested the lows, but that may not matter depending on how strong the bulls are right now. At the current time, we're looking for a move up to 42.91, which is a 2-to-1 objective. And then after that, looking to see what else we can get out of the move back up. And maybe we just end up going for a 3-to-1, which would be above that. Just kind of remains to be seen on what they want to do here. We've obviously been correct on the analysis here of buying the low of that bear candle and not believing them. So at this point in time, everything is still looking really good, but we do need to give them a little bit more time to see if we can get that drive further up. A 3-to-1 objective target would be up at around 43, and that again may just be where we put at final objective. Right now I'll put it there just so that we have it on the table, but we're just waiting to see if the buyers want to show up. So overall, doing pretty good. Now we just have to wait to see if the buyers want to show up, drive this market back up to the highs. 42.91 is the first objective, and then after that, at the moment, 43. Buyers pushing up here, we're nearing the highs again. I have locked my stop in a little bit tighter after we saw that big bullish reaction, which is exactly what we were looking for. Now that we had what we were looking for, we know that we picked the bottom pretty well. We weren't exact, but it's really hard to be exact when you're trying to do that. So the stop is now locked in, 42.68. I'm going to leave my targets alone because of my initial risk at the time of placing the trade. So that's what we're looking for. Nice pop up. We get the first objective met, and now they're actually slamming through it. Now, because we hit the objective right at the same area as the possible wedge top, that makes us a little bit concerned that, all right, well, this may be all we get out of the trade. So it kind of depends on where they want to close here and what the reaction is up here. We may end up just having to close out of the position a little bit early, ahead of what we want to at that 91 area where we got the other two taken off. But now that we have that first one taken out of the trade, now what we can do is move the stop up to break even, lock out all of the risk, and now it just remains to be seen on what they want to do at these highs. We only have a few seconds left to see where they close. If they close weak, then we know that there's a good chance that it's going to fail. In this case, it actually closed above, so that is a good sign, but a lot of times that can induce some form of exhaustion. You have an ascending wedge that is breaking higher. Not very frequently is that going to hold because it's just too much. The buyers have pushed too aggressively. So because of this potential exhaustion movement, I'm going to move my target down to 42.96 and take the final portion off there. And because we are getting a little more aggressive on the target, I also want to make sure that I lock my stop in so that that is also a potential profitable area. So I'm looking for a move up. 42.96 will be the high, and I'm looking for buyers to essentially just want to exit at the top. So we'll give it a little bit of time here and see if they can finish the job off back to a new high. Definitely starting to see some signs of that exhaustion that we were a little bit concerned about. Lots of wick on the bottom. We are seeing the buyers attempting to pick it up, but I don't like the fact that it spent 4 out of the 5 minutes of this candle as bearish. We don't like that. So what I want to do is, again, I'm looking for them to push up to that 42.96. I've got to assume that all the buyers who are in this are likely doing about the same thing, and they're going to want to exit. And there we get that little pop through and the final objective filled. Beautiful little move here. And again, normally this isn't something that, you'd be too too nervous about. Yeah, it's an ascending wedge, it's breaking higher, but you may get several more candles from here that continue to go higher. In this case, though, the very next candle stays bearish 4 out of the 5 minutes. That makes me a little bit nervous. So target goes right at the highs, and you can see it looks like a lot of folks liquidated when it hit that high. So good call on that one. It may go higher, but if it does, I'll look to just get back in again rather than trying to hang on to a trade and let it turn into a loser. So that's going to do it for me. If you have any questions about it, feel free to send an email to School of Trade. Don't forget to check out our trial at schooloftrade.com. And as always, we'll catch you next time.